Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. How's everyone doing today? It is the new year, January 1st of 2026. 1:59 p.m. America time. Beato, don't bother telling her. See? Isn't she a funny kid? Indeed. Lady Lambda Delta's innocent airhead side is truly precious and amusing. Why does this feel like Batman orchestrating a fight with gentle nudging between Lex Luthor and the Joker? Cackle. Come on, why won't you tell only me, you meanie? In exchange, I'll teach you a special secret that only I know, so tell me. Ho? A special secret, you say? I want to hear. Blah. If you want me to tell you, first tell me who that girl really was. The secret I know, sure, is awesome. After all, it's about as awesome as knowing that Santa's son is actually Daddy. Huh? Giggle? I said it, sorry. I'll bet you're so shocked that it turned your world upside down, right? Oh ho ho. So your father was the one who came to your place, Lambda. He came? Wait, what do you mean? Lord Santa Claus only visits the homes of children with pure hearts. I guess he didn't come to your place, did he? Well, Lord Santa Claus is gracious. Unless you're a really bad scoundrel, he'll give you a present. After all, he even gave them to me. As you grow and your heart is hardened, he stops coming, doesn't he? How old were you, Beato, when he stopped coming? Indeed, he kept coming until I was about 12. When my maiden's heart awoke, I quickly got somewhat embarrassed about Lord Santa coming. After I wrote, thanks for everything, that's enough. So make sure you splurge on the last set of presents. He stopped coming. Oh, and I was looking forward to it, too. How old were you when he stopped coming, Lady Berncastel? I was pretty wild. It happened fairly early. I think when I was about 9. Something about that beard really irritated me, so I waited in my futon with some sewing scissors, ready to try and cut it off. What a painful age. So, as far back as Lady Lambda Delta can remember, Lord Santa Claus never came to see her, huh? He usually comes until the last year of elementary school or during middle school. Maybe we should take her to a doctor. I hear that being too precocious can have a negative side effects on the growth of mind and body. Yeah, you can definitely see some of those negative side effects. Hey, well, what are you people talking about? Blah. Cackle. Waha, it truly is boisterous when 3 witches gather. If you're talking about a secret on that level, I doubt this will be worth listening to. Can I go now? I have to get ready for the next game. What? Hey, wait a sec. Tell me who that woman really was. Well then, tell me this special secret of yours first. If it's good enough, then I'll tell you. Ho ho ho. Okay, I'll tell you because it really is a special secret. Remember in this game, there was a girl who found the gold and became the new witch, right? Indeed. And just what kind of secret might that person have? I figured out who that girl really is. Does anyone know? Giggle. There was a hint in the way she talked. Remember the girl said it a lot, didn't she? If only you just blah. We all knew it was you. That's not a secret, right? Yes, that phrase is the key point. If only. If only. Evenly? Yes. She was actually Ushiromia Ava? What do you think? Are you shocked? Oh ho ho? Ho? I never noticed that. Moo, to think that there would be a hint in a place like that. You're a really good sport, Beato. This kid tends to get full of herself, so try not to overdo it. See you, I'm leaving. Wait. It's not fair. If you just listen to my secret, don't tell me yours. Tell me who she really was. Your secret was so amazing that mine just wouldn't match up. So in exchange, I'll teach you a special secret. I'll tell you the name of the culprit in this game, called Higurashi no Naku Koroni. What? Don't say it. I'm still playing it. Ah ha 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 ha. See you, Beato. The black tea was delicious. However, the repertoire... I feel like that's not the... Like, I understand the word repertoire and what that means, but as far as the conversation, you know, back and forth, but I don't feel like that's how that's spelled. So we're looking at a different word here. Let me look at Google real quick. No, that actually is how that's spelled. It says stock of play, dances, pieces that a company or performer knows or is prepared to perform. Playlist? Script? I don't know, maybe I just misunderstood the definition of repertoire. I don't know. Of jam on crackers was lacking. And some gochujang chili paste every once in a while. I've tried some of that sometimes. It's not bad. It goes great with Russian tea. Later. Oh, I see. I shall try it. I'll call for some after preparing the next game. Until then, feel free to polish up your strategy at your leisure. Yes, I'll do that. This last game was pretty interesting. Later. Hey, wait a sec. Tell me. Tell me. Laugh noises. My, you two really are close. Yes, that's right. Oh, I really like you, Burn Castell. You could even say I love you. I want to gouge out your eyes so that you see no one other than me. Oh, that would be so wonderful. It'd be great to dunk them in black tea. To think that you would be so entranced, Lady Lambda Delta. I have a serious responsibility. Still, this last game really was close. I was a breath away from getting Battler. Beato, can I ask you something? What is it? I won't tell you that girl's name. Cackle. When are you going to stop fooling around? Are you even trying to win? Lambda Delta threatened her with a low voice that she had never used in front of Burn Castell. It completely blew away the calm atmosphere that had been there until a moment ago. Yo, you know I'm supporting you because you're supposed to be a witch who can win against Burn Castell. If you don't have the power to win against her, then I'll abandon you right away, okay? How harsh of you. What about me dissatisfies you? As you know, my game board is perfect. Lady Burn Castell will never be able to win. Yeah, that's right. Your board truly is impressive. It truly is an impressive and perfect game board that Bern Castell definitely won't be able to win in, not even after 100 years. Or even 1,000 years. That's why I made you a witch in exchange for letting me borrow it. If I stop being your guardian, you'll immediately go back to being a human. Make sure you don't forget that. No matter how much incredible magic power you hold, you are nothing more than a temporary witch. I understand. I'm grateful to you. Don't speak so casually to me. I'll forgive that when Bern Castell is around, but not when she isn't. I'll bet you've started to forget how much you owe me. That is not so... you really are disgusting. Go ahead and talk the way you usually do, but be mindful of what you say. I have a surprisingly short temper, you see. Indeed. Let's get back to what we were discussing. Your game board truly is perfect. You should be able to defeat Bern Castell without any trouble, but that kid won't surrender easily. She'll challenge you over and over. That is no problem. It has been certified by you, Lady Lambda Delta. My game board is perfect. Yeah, that's right, it's perfect. But are you, the player, perfect as well? What do you mean by that? What do I mean? That's what I want to hear. You play around a lot in your game. Sometimes, that ends up confusing Bern Castell, so at first, I thought it was some special strategy of yours. But I get the feeling that's not quite true. Rather than toying with the opponent in a match you can win, you don't actually care whether you win or lose, right? Ridiculous. How could that be? You know what? Your role is to make Bern Castell surrender. In other words, that means being the victor in this game for all eternity. So, as long as you keep trying to become the victor with certainty, then I'll give you my power as the Witch of Certainty. However, if you fight in a way that doesn't eliminate any possibility of your loss, that's a different story. Of course, this is a game. Just as Lady Bern Castell will lose when I win, I will sometimes lose when she wins. The possibility of loss always exists, therefore I will. This is why you're useless. There's no need for you to be a game board. You just have to be a bird cage that can lock a Bern Castell up here for all eternity. What's the role of a bird cage? Making certain the little bird inside never escapes. What's a bird's cage worth if it has cracks that sometimes let a bird out? Of course, games exist for the purpose of winning, and it is impossible for me to lose. Therefore, I will continue to win, as you wish, for all eternity. Good answer. That'll be fine. I'll allow you to play around and use fakes as part of your tactics. It ended up being useful during parts of this round. But, you know what? If you make a move hoping for anything else other than victory, make sure you're prepared for something amazing, okay? I will not do such a thing. I swear it. Because originally you weren't even a witch, and at any time, I'll remind you what a truly shabby creature you were. If you betray my expectations, that is. As soon as you do, you can look forward to a fun punishment game. In other words, in the world of billions of fragments, I'll send you into the most miserable one and seal you there. You were already miserable to start with, so there's going to be some really miserable fragments out there for the picking. Giggle. Oh, I love you, Bern Castell. Struggle in Beatrice's birdcage as much as you like, and over the course of 1,000 years realize that you can no longer escape. And when you surrender, I'll train you so that you can't do anything other than cry in the palm of my hand. Giggle. Laughter noises. Never forget Chrono Trig, Uncle Meon, Squirrel Lord. I love you forever. Complete the third tea party. "12 years later." Are we continuing with Ava after the events of the... A monotonous electronic sound kept on repeating. The room was colored with hygienic tones. Is that really how hygienic spelled? Hygienic? In other words, an emotionless white. It looks like the wall's brown, though. It was a room at a certain university hospital. Neither her doctors nor the person herself had any doubts that this room, which had a price so high that no commoner could afford to spend a single night there, would be the last room she ever saw. Was the person on the bed Ava? It has been 12 years. You shouldn't be that old. Even if someone told you that was so, she was unbelievably aged and worn out. The well-built man in a suit, waiting in the corner near the door, was having a whispered conversation through an intercom with someone outside. He was a guard protecting Ava's person. After telling the person on the other end of the intercom to wait, he approached Ava's bed. Ava had been awake for a short while. However, she stared at a single point in empty space as though her mind was not in the same place. Angie-san has arrived in the lobby below. Should we let her pass? For a long time, Ava didn't answer. However, bit by bit, her eyes began to regain their focus, and she gave a small nod indicating that she didn't mind if they called Ange. It had been Ava who called her, and she was right on time. By this point, Ava would refuse anyone who wanted a meeting without an appointment. The room was dark, even though it was still light outside, because the curtains were always closed. There was always one guard waiting in the room and 3 more waiting in the corridor in the lobby. They were all there to protect Ava's person. From what? Eventually, there was the sound of a knock. Also, there was a message from the intercom that the guest's body check had been completed with no problems. The door was unlocked, then opened, and a high school-aged girl was standing there. Chairman, Angie-san has arrived. Ava reacted and turned her face towards the guest. However, instead of reacting to the guard's call, it may be better to say that she reacted to the smell of Angie's makeup. After being shut up in this room for so long, Ava was sensitive to even small changes in smell. So you came, Angie. I came. This is Rudolph and Kyrie's daughter, by the way. But not the one I was initially guessing that, from an alternate timeline of, the stillborn one. It's like, this is the child that was a 6-year-old during the events of the game. She is 18 plus now. You did call me. On Ava's face, there was no trace of a person warmly welcoming their niece. And on Angie's face, you could see the expression of one pleased to meet with their aunt. Ava waved her arm, which had grown as thin as a withered branch, and motioned for the guard to leave. Ushiromiya Angie, the daughter of Rudolph and Kyrie, Battler's younger sister from a different mother. She hasn't come in contact with Battler often, but is extremely fond and respectful of him. She was sick and absent during the family conference, so she always ends up surviving in solitude. A very unfortunate girl whose heart is in tatters. Has a bad habit of always walking around with massive amounts of cash, throwing it out to whoever comes first. You couldn't see the expression of one pleased to meet with their aunt. The guard bowed silently and went out into the hall. It's not only stuffy, but dark too. Can I open the curtains? Is your plan for that hitman you hired to shoot me through the window? I wish I could get hired to assassinate you. All I'd have to do is relax at home for a month, and the job would take care of itself. Their discussion was quite morbid for an aunt and niece. However, they didn't look like they were joking. At the very least, Ava believed that someone was after her life. All of the Ushiromiya family's massive fortune had come into the possession of Ushiromiya Ava. It was said that this fortune also included the 10 tons of hidden gold that Ushiromi Kinzo was rumored to have hidden. While the vast wealth lay in Ava's cunning, sly, and suspicious hands, no one was able to complain. But it was rumored that as soon as it was passed on to Angie, who was no more than a young girl, certain people were plotting to snatch it away. By now, Ava and Angie were Kinzo's only descendants. If Ava died, all of the wealth would go to Ange. And if Ange were to be killed as well, that wealth would go to the family of Ange's mother, Kairi. In this sense, not only Ava, but Ange as well, were in a position where it wouldn't be odd at all for their life to be targeted by some unknown person. And Ava had hated Ange for a long time. This was because she knew that after losing her only precious son, George, the inheritor of her own wealth would be none other than the girl who had been absent at the family conference 12 years ago. You know, I don't think you have a right to complain, Ava, considering you're the one who killed everyone and who had survived. Ava shunned Ange, disliked her, and even hated her. She isolated Ange in a special school and separated her from the youth and happiness normal people have, trying to keep her as a pet until death. However, Ava had succumbed to an incurable illness, and ironically, her remaining life was estimated to be the same as Kinzo's had been at the family conference 12 years ago. Both Ava and Ange hated each other. Even though they were each other's last blood relatives, they hated each other so much that they hoped the other would die quickly. And why did you go to all the trouble of calling for me? I don't have much time left. These quack doctors still can't detect any of the poison that's filling me up. I know. I'm sure it's some secret assassination drug used by the Soviet KGBs. Oh, I'm gonna be killed. Isn't that great? Very soon I will die, which will surely be quite a load off your back. What a pitiable person. This always happened. They immediately deviated from the main topic, distorting it into a more unsettling discussion. Ava, who was absolutely paranoid, believed that someone was always after her life, and in actual fact, after inheriting the vast wealth of the Ushiromiya family, she had used wild methods just like Kinzo had done in the past, repeatedly making money by any means necessary, and creating many enemies along the way. With a massive supply of capital, she had plotted to aggressively buy businesses that were starting to have rapid growth, making them buy it back at a high price under the guise of reconciliation. Ironically, it was the same type of action that her husband's company had been hit with 12 years ago. She had repeated this constantly for 12 years. She had also earned a lot of hatred. If her husband had heard of this from beyond the grave, he might have defended her, saying that the loneliness from losing her family fueled her actions. However, all of the people who knew her now, none would defend her. For some time, Ava eloquently spoke of how her life was being targeted, listing off the names of people who hated her, and sneering at the fact that she hadn't been killed. Even though Ange heard her own name included in that list, there was no particular change in her expression, and she waited indifferently for Ava to tire herself out. You see, I really hate you. I'm honored. Same here. I built this future for George's sake. To think that it would be snatched away by you. To think that it would be stolen away by Rudolph's daughter. I can't bear it. To think that I would have my fortune stolen away without even leaving behind a child. That I cannot forgive. If only you just give all your fortune to charity. What about all those religious people you used to go so far out of your way to find? Cackle. They all say the same thing. My excessive wealth has become a burden to me, and they always say something about how I need to give it up and cleanse myself. Ha ha ha. Then I thought of something. I stopped donating. For a time, Ava had searched for the founders of several strange and new religious cults, perhaps seeking peace in her heart, but they gave her heart no relief, and if anything, they ended up increasing her paranoia further. If you have too much money, why don't you start buying up thoroughbreds and make some corned beef? I've thought of something even more interesting. Cackle. I've worried over it a lot. What could I do to make things horrible for you? I thought about killing you. I also thought about erasing all of my wealth, leaving you penniless, and selling you off as a slave trader. Selling you off to a slave trader or something. Wouldn't that be wonderful? You'd have your arms and legs chopped off and be forced to take customers until you died. Ah, that would be so wonderful. Okay, you just... You know, I didn't think my estimation of Ava as a person could have dropped lower, but here we are. Is this fun for you? Oh yes, it is. It's fun to scare you, but very soon I will die. So I thought about how I might continue to cause you pain even after my death. And you wonder why everyone fucking hates you, Ava. And then you're like, oh, poor me, poor me. You literally just threatened her to be turned into a stump that gets raped over and over and beaten to your only actual remaining blood relative, who has actually never done anything wrong to you. She's just, you know, been orphaned after you murdered her parents with a shotgun and stole money from them, because technically that wealth would have also been to them as well. And you did the very same action that, you know, fucked your husband over. And it's like, and you're also just lying. You're like, your husband would have, like, even if you hadn't been the one responsible for murdering everyone, the fact that you're misusing the wealth in this way, like to fuck over other businesses, there's no way he would approve. Like, you're a terrible person, Ava. And then, it was surprisingly simple. I called you because I wanted to talk about it. I have midterms coming up. Keep it brief. I have decided I will have you inherit all of my fortune. Oh? Not only that, but I decided that until the very day I die, I'll expand that fortune as much as I can, inflating it to massive proportions before having you inherit all of it. Cackle. Can you even imagine what that would be like? I don't get it, because it's stupid. Cackle. That's right, you don't get it, do you? Look forward to it. It really is fun being rich. Every day, yokai from across Japan come to play. From now on, your entire life will be followed by talk shows and weekly magazines. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't sound terrible, but it sounds like something I wouldn't really give a shit about. Like, I don't want to be famous or, you know, like, oh, it's Lunar, he's awesome. Like, no, I don't really care about having a bunch of people. Like, oh, this person's awesome. Like, I would like one person, though. I would like a few people. But I don't really care about the large amount of thing. That being said, you know, can't really say money would be corrupting. Like, if I suddenly had $1 billion, yes, there'd be a concern about, like, people might try to target me for the money. But aside from that, I mean, if I was suddenly rich, yeah, I wouldn't suddenly, like, be misusing that money to try to hurt people. I would just... What did we do today, Looter? Well, I went to walk on a bike trail. I mean, if we have to worry about people, like, possibly trying to attack me for money, then it's like, okay, I might have guards with me then. But I'm still gonna go walk on a bike trail. And play video games. Maybe I'll have some outfits that are based on anime cosplays. I'm like, yeah. It's like, I'm dressed as Yujiro Hanma today, guys. I was just imagining how, like, the outfit of Yujiro Hanma kind of reminds me of Yusuke Urameshi. I'm just saying I don't think money would be corrupting. I don't think power would be corrupting. The media will criticize me no matter what I do or don't do. If I donate, they'll attack me for being bourgeois, and if I hesitate, I'll be abused as a miser. Oh, every day really is wonderful, you see. I decided it'd be great to let you have that kind of life when you're so young and have so much ahead of you. Doesn't that sound absolutely wonderful? Honestly, it'd be fine to be rich. Like I said, I don't think being rich would, corrupt me. I don't think I'd suddenly become fucking evil. Looks like the public's opinion of you, of all you've done, was spot on. Too true, yes, that is too true. Go ahead, abuse me as much as you want. Again, you don't get to complain about this stuff when you've murdered a bunch of people. It'd be like if Hitler escaped to like Argentina or something, and then someone called him short and he felt bad about being called short. You don't get to be upset about that. You've done, some bad things. So you don't get to complain. Soon you will face that same criticism. Japanese culture dictates that good people live in honorable poverty, while the wealthy should just die. Again, you don't get to complain. It's not like you got your wealth from means that weren't murdering your own family members. You're not a good person, Ava. No matter what you do or do not do, you will eventually be lifted as a symbol of envy and hate across Japan. And yeah, no matter what, if you're rich, there are probably going to be people that talk shit about you, but again, what do you fucking care? You have your spouse and your children who all love and care about you. Oh wait, you fucking killed them. I wonder how twisted your life will become after living that way. You have no allies. No one will listen to your worries. Abusing you will become a public sport. I don't think that's the case. And after all, she lost her parents and her older brother. Furthermore is this. She's a young, beautiful, busty woman. In of itself, that's something that'll certainly earn a lot of people to actually care about her. Then there's the fact that she's actually smart. She's actually mature. She actually has an interesting personality. Also that she's literally so fucking rich that literally, no matter what happens, she doesn't have to worry about being homeless or something. So, yeah, even if she was left penniless, she can still survive on her own. Most people don't have the option of be giving $1 billion. And no one can stop that. Oh, Ange. Oh, I'm really looking forward to it, and I wonder how you will live your life and how you'll end it. Enjoy it to the fullest life of being unable to trust anyone in the world, being unable to love anyone, being unable to talk with anyone. I'll be patiently waiting for you to take that story of hardship down with you into hell. Why would I go to hell? I didn't fucking kill everyone. Are you dying during this conversation? Her insane laughter turned into a painful laugh. Please don't die right now. No one will believe that I didn't kill you. Not that anyone would blame me, but still. Without changing her expression in the slightest, looking completely unconcerned, Ange stared at the only survivor of Rakanjima. Perhaps because he found the violent coughing suspicious, the guard gave a short knock on the door and rushed in at the same time. Ange glanced at him, wordlessly making it clear that she didn't intend to move a step from where she was. Ange was prepared for some kind of trap to frame her and Ava's death. However, that was fortunately a needless fear. As the guard rubbed Ava's back, he poured hot water from a thermos into a mug. As he did, Ava kept coughing, apparently in pain. Ange feared that this was probably the last she'd see of Rakanjima's witch's final days. Eventually, the coughing subsided and Ava regained her normal breathing. However, the glittering madness inside her eyes hadn't subsided in the slightest. Cackle. That laughter, like the witches laugh. Now I will give to you that cursed mass of gold and the Ushiromiya family headship, as well as the name of the golden witch, Beatrice. Enjoy the insane, twisted rest of your life, fitting for the name of the witch. I don't need that. More importantly, tell me, On that day, what happened on Rockinjima? I don't believe it was an accident. Tell me the truth about what happened that day. Why father and mother and Nissan died. What, you don't believe 17 people spontaneously, accidentally got shot in the chest with a shotgun? I mean, it was definitely an accident that everyone was slashed up or strangled or impaled on stuff. I mean, that just happens. You know, there was a banana peel that left out, and it's not like she was just a 6-year-old. And like, by the way, all your family's dead. They're all horrifically murdered. Laughter noises of a insane bitch. Oh yes, that is the best way I have to harass you, isn't it? What happened on that day? What happened on this day in 1986? You want to know what they said before they died, right? I won't tell you. Ha ha ha, yeah. I'll leave behind the cursed gold. But you know what? I'll take that truth you seek with me to hell. That's the best way I can torment you. Oh, are you mad? If you want to hear it so much, try going to hell and asking your family there. In that case, you'd better die right now, right? If only you just give up and die right now. Is that what she did? She went down to hell to find me and the rest of the people as I was about to sign the fucking paper. That laugh continued until she started coughing again, and that cough did not subside until she started moaning and going into convulsions. Was the power of being the endless witch. The only thing, it's like Kenzo wouldn't die until he gave away the ring, and then all of a sudden age, or would have eventually just caught up with him. October 4th, 1986. Rockinjima, the Ushirome family's customary and final family conference was held. And on the next day, October 5th, an extremely unfortunate accident occurred and the Ushirome family was wiped out. Fortunately, Ushiromiya Eva escaped from that. Okay, question. Kinzo initially inherited the fortune because an extremely unfortunate accident wiped out all the rest of the family. Has something been happening to the Ushiromiya family since even before Kinzo was born? And inherited almost all of the Ushiromiya family's fortune. However, due to the many turbulent rumors surrounding the Ushiromiya family, the way Eva acted afterwards, and her unnatural actions at the time of the unfortunate accident, the public was in uproar over whether this might have been a conspiracy to get all of the inheritance for herself. Under pressure from the public, prosecutors repeatedly tried to investigate the matter, and the media began tracing the outline of a conspiracy they called the Rockinjima suspicion. But in the end, they weren't even able to find proof that this unfortunate accident was a crime. However, because the media continued to give the impression that Rockinjima's suspicion was a conspiracy of Ava's, public opinion began to believe that she was the true culprit. Of course, that was also influenced by the bad impression caused by all the easily condemnable, overbearing financial activity which she had carried out using that vast wealth. Every time she did something and the rumors started spreading, the media would bring back the Rockinjima's suspicion, blaming the criminal justice system by saying that she was the true culprit and that the only reason she hadn't been arrested was because even the police had been bribed. I mean, I can believe that. So the impression that she was a great villain grew stronger and stronger. Her heart eventually degenerated, and ironically it began to transfigure her into the kind of human that the public expected. By now, Ava had no one she could trust and no family. After her beloved husband passed away, the talk shows occasionally mentioned his company, saying that it was run recklessly while criticizing and disgracing its former accomplishments. Even her beloved son George was dramatized as the stereotypical rich, lazy son that the public expected, and no one even wanted to know what a simple and honest character he had possessed. As to how much all of this hurt Ava and ran her to ruin, no one cared. Why would I feel bad for the person who went around shooting everyone else with a shotgun? The public was only interested out of curiosity about how a super rich evil woman who killed her whole family lived her pitiful later years. So that happened more and more, and eventually Ava's personality was transfigured until people started calling her a lunatic. It was said that this sometimes reminded her of her father, whom she had once admired in his later years, and that she laughed at herself with scorn. And on the days of the final family conference, because Ushiromi Rudolph's daughter, Angie, had been sick and stayed with her mother's family, she had not participated. At the age of 6, she had lost her family and gained Ava as her guardian. Since Angie had become Ava's only blood relative, Ava took very good care of her, in air quotes. She had imposing guards surrounding Angie's person at all times to prevent her from coming to harm. Angie had even her right to play with friends, to come home from school together and enjoy the seasons together stolen away, so that she can live a full and pleasant school life. Ava had sent Angie to an elegant boarding school that took care of her every need, completely isolating her from the world. She didn't even know the popular songs that girls her age might hum. She was never given a chance to enjoy window shopping with her friends or stuffing her mouth with crepes, much less an encounter with a member of the opposite sex to make her heart throb. Angie did not have a single friend. If anyone carelessly acted friendly with Angie, they would be scolded by the guards or else the teachers. All of them were strictly ordered not to let shabby humans approach the daughter of the esteemed Ushiromiya family. During that time, the talk shows were always mentioning Ushiromi Ava, always spreading rumors about her countless financial misdeeds. Those who knew her daughter, air quotes, was naturally began to keep their distance. Even now, she was called a witch at school, and any time something bad happened, even if there was no proof, it would be whispered as though it were absolute truth that she had imposed her will on the school's staff. The environment makes the person. By now, she had a heart as wild as those around her feared. No one trusted her, so she never bothered to believe in anyone. No one loved her, so she never even tried to love. And when Ava caught an incurable illness on top of all this, it was whispered that this too was a conspiracy, and this time Angie was set up as the mastermind. Everyone whispered that the daughters of the witches are witches too. Even the talk shows and the weekly magazines whispered that. So Angie also accepted it as though it was definitely, no, not as though it was obviously true. I mean, if you tell somebody anything over and over and over again, even if it's completely not true, they will believe it if you just repeat it enough. I mean, it doesn't make it reality. Whereas where we're going with in this game, that, you know, the power of belief and shit like that makes things actually real. Like, you really believe you can fire a fucking Kamehameha. But no, that's not how it works. Like, no matter how much you believe you might be able to do it, you can't actually throw a Kamehameha. But that being said, if you're told something enough over and over, you'll believe it. It doesn't make it true, but it does make it to where it's like an ingrained thought that's just sort of... I think it's the whole point of, like, there's a thing out there called, like, cognitive behavior therapy. It's supposed to deal with certain, like, patterns like that. No, it was obviously true. Therefore, since she already believed that she was a witch, when she heard that the name of the Golden Witch was being turned over to her, she only felt like saying, "You just figured that out now?" However, she was at least sure of one thing. This title of witch that she had inherited would definitely never be inherited by anyone else. She would be the last head of the Ushiromi family, and the last lonely Golden Witch. Man, it's technically your choice there. I mean, pretty sure you have, like, infinite options. Angie. Ooh, I like this view of the city. Angie could be seen on the roof of a skyscraper. It's kind of like in Synth Riders, there's home stages. There's several of them. They're all pretty neat. Honestly, the game could use more of them. But, like, the two I like best is, like, there's the rooftop home stage, and then also apparently the room home stage, which is actually your bedroom that's literally the top floor of the skyscraper you're standing on. You know what? Looks pretty fucking cool, and I think it's really awesome. Compared to the winds of the world that had beaten down upon her until now, the strong cold winds was warm and pleasant. Below her lay a beautiful nighttime scene and the dazzling river of red and white lights. It was supposed to be clear out that night, so there really should have been countless stars stretching out over the sky. However, the light from the ground was too bright, so you couldn't see them at all. Angie couldn't help but think that this was what she truly sought, must lie in the unseen starlight. The world of reality below her looked so far away from here. She could imagine that this place was the closest to the world she really should be in. There was only one thing that Angie cursed. I'd imagine the thing she's most upset about is Rudolph, Kyrie, and Battler being dead. I mean, she probably would have liked the rest of her family too, maybe, provided that things went well. Why had she not been able to go to that family conference on that day 12 years ago? Even though if she had gone, it probably would have been possible for her to stay with her family forever. Lately, she'd been dreaming about her family over and over again. The person I was 12 years ago calls out frantically, urging them not to go to the family conference. Both Dad and Mom are far too away, and my hand won't reach them. Battler Nissan always loved me a lot, and he'd always pat my head. But even though it looks like that hand's about to touch me, even if it does not reach, for some reason, I started having that dream over and over. Every time I had that same dream, I uselessly tried to stretch out my hand even more forcefully, over and over and over. Even if only Battler Nissan had lived, then perhaps we'd at least be able to support each other in my cold, lonely reality. But his hand never reaches me. Even if I climb to the roof of this top building, I am so far away from all of them. And that's the funny thing. I was thinking about something, but I need to stop going on personal tangents. A mysterious girl appears in my dreams and urges me. She urges me to find the truth of what happened 12 years ago. If only I could learn everything that happened to Father and the rest of them on that day. Would they come back? At least one of them? There was no way that anyone would answer that question for her. I get it. In this world, I have no family or friends. So, let's go. Let's go home. To where my family is. From the start, Angie's figure had been on the outer side of the fence. The scenery below her eyes was distant, beautiful, and so fantastical that it actually didn't give rise to fear. If I look down, I'll surely be swallowed up by the world below. So I looked up, because I wanted to be taken to the world above, the world where my family was. Who cares about vast wealth? Who cares about cursed gold? Who cares about the golden witch Beatrice? What I really want, even a mountain of gold couldn't get me. What I need for that is to take a single step forward, just that little bit of courage. At that moment, I definitely heard a voice. It was a voice I knew, a voice that had called to me in my dreams for so long. Before my eyes, in other words, in midair, above that jet-black nighttime scenery, there was the figure of the girl I'd seen in my dreams. She spoke out again with the same voice I'd heard in those dreams. Your assistance is required. My assistance? Who needs it? Your family needs it. Your family has been eternally imprisoned in the span from this day, 12 years ago, until the following day. If I save them, does that mean my family will come home? When I asked the question I had most wanted to, the girl cruelly stopped talking and hung her head. So, when Ava dies, does she get to actually meet George and all them? But it is still kind of funny. I saw all the ways other people mistreated each other, and decided I'll make sure to avoid all that. I looked at the things that I disliked and thought that I would do everything the best that I possibly could. And it wasn't enough. Heck. Did everything I could to be the best husband I could be, the best father I could be. And I'm alienated from my son. Haven't done anything wrong other than not being rich and being married to a demon. So... never did anything wrong, never mistreated everyone, never did fucking shit. And went out of my way to basically try to be the most caring father I could be. Oh, at least he's doing well wherever he is. It's just a little bit of a discouraging feeling that no matter what you do, everything results in failure regardless of whatever you could ever do or say in life. That even if you do everything right, it's still, no matter what you do, there's no chance of success. And it's like, oh, that's discouraging. But oh well. You learn to deal with that. I cannot promise that. The enemy is the Golden Witch Beatrice, a mighty opponent. I cannot oppose her, but another Golden Witch might be able to manage something. I don't know what you're talking about. The only one who can pose the Beatrice of 1986 is the final Beatrice of 1998. In other words, you. Angie. Angie Beatrice. That witch from 12 years ago took away my That witch from 12 years ago took away my family? That's right. She is your foe. The root cause that always leads to your future of isolation. My family's foe. In exchange, I will search for a fragment with the ideal world that you wish for, a world where your family comes home. I make no promises that your desire will be granted. Beatrice's game board 1986 is quite perfect. I had planned on bringing you that ideal fragment as a present today, but I still can't find it. This is a very firm fate. I haven't seen the likes of it since the time I fought Lambda Delta. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In exchange, I promise to search for and bring you the happiest resolution among the possibilities you're capable of accepting. Revenge. It may be a fruitless effort. Even if you succeed in your revenge, there's no definite proof that your family will return. Even if you manage to hit a miraculous probability, you may only be able to bring one person back. If that. Angie understood the meaning of that dream. The dream where it seemed that, with just a little more stretching, her hand might be able to reach, at least, Battler Nissan. A miraculous probability means it's still higher than 0, right? Is it 1%? Trying to read any probabilities before the result is useless, so I cannot tell you that number, but it'll definitely be slightly more likely than if I do nothing. Yes, as long as you do not throw that desire of yours away. But be prepared. It is extremely close to 0. Okay. I'll take you up on that offer. Are you sure? You probably won't be able to return here again. This isn't the world I'm supposed to be in. I'll find the world I am supposed to be in myself. Tell me your name. The Witch of Miracles, Berncastel. And by that name, I acknowledge you as the Golden Witch Angie Beatrice. As of now, you are a true witch. The instant she proclaimed that I was a witch, I felt dizzy as though something inside me had changed drastically. At that time, I heard a clunk. It was the sound of the door that opened to the staircase to the roof. It was Aunt Ava's guards. There are only guards in name. Aren't they the cage that wraps the tightest around me, shutting me in? They saw that I was already on the other side of the fence and dashed forward, horrified. 20, we found the target. Requesting backup on the roof. Angie-san, we were looking for you. It's dangerous there, so quickly come this way. What's that? My fan club. I'm pretty popular. No point in getting caught. Let's go. Looking annoyed, Berncastel turned on her heels in the jet black sky. Watching that perfectly casual gesture, I followed her as though it was completely normal. Angie-san, wait! Don't be hasty. Look out! Ah, it's useless. It's all useless. Well then, see you next time. See you again next time. Please send a limo to get me. Because everyone else will be there too. See you. Angie-san! I should have brought something to drink. You know, make some Gatorade or something. I don't know. I had some bread and butter and a can of tuna earlier. I still haven't got around to getting that pizza. Maybe tomorrow. I doubt anything's open on New Year's Day. I'll probably make some peanut butter sandwiches later. Last Ushi room, complete the third hidden tea party. Well, we're going to start episode 4. Angie Beatrice. The final witch, born in 1998. She became a witch in 1998. She was named by Ava as her successor and was accepted, with Bern Castell as her guardian. She had to start from square one as a witch, but because she exists 12 years in the future, she possesses the ultimate sort of magical resistance, for none of Beatrice's magic can target her. Furthermore, in a manner opposite of her brother's magical resistance, she has a natural talent for attacks against anything of a magical nature. She holds tremendous potential for both offense and defense. However, the distance is vast. 12 years is a long time. Alliance of the Golden Witch. Good morning. How shocking that you haven't been forced into surrender even now. By this point, even I am forced to expect a lot from you. Not all of the game takes place on the board. How about taking a little peek at the outside this time around? They say that if you know your enemy, you need not fight 100 battles. The difficulty level depends on you. The manner in which you fought up until now will greatly influence the difficulty of this game. This story. October 4th, 1986. Ooh-ha! You alright, Battler-kun? We're already on the ground, and you can't fall any further than that, wahaha. Ooh-ha! Fall, ha. So this is like the exact moment where we went from being normal Battler of this universe to all of a sudden having the memories of the Battler that's been fucking reality hopping. In the lobby of the Nijima airport, Maria dashed around in excitement. Battler's uproar on the plane must have been hilarious. Hey, Maria? Cut that out. I'm sorry, Battler-kun. Please don't take it badly. What a pathetic guy you are. Even with that huge body, you still can't handle vehicles. Ah, shut up. All humans have one or two things they can't handle. Battler-kun, why don't you come with your aunt on an overseas trip sometime? The scene feels different now for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on it. How about Europe? I'm sure you can manage a half-day trip on a plane. Giggle. Stop it, mother. Battler-kun's dislike for vehicles is probably genetic. Oh, you mean Asumu-san? For some reason, she just couldn't handle vehicles. Pretty much anything other than a bicycle or a car. Whenever we tried to go away, that woman was so annoying with the not this, not that. I'm scared, fall, gya. Children tend to learn that things their parents can't handle are dangerous. I'm sure Battler-kun saw Asumu-san doing something like that and learned that vehicles are scary. Giggle. So it's Asumu-san's genes then, is it? Who knows? Those would be some pretty annoying genes. That's enough talking about Asumu. Right now you're the one who's here. Right? You're right, sorry. Hey, the cars are here. Exactly 3 of them. Get in. Fall. Where's the parachute? Ooh, giggle. Why, you little... Hold on, stop right there. I'll sentence you to the little girl tickle punishment. Hehehe. Being in high spirits is such a wonderful thing. Without Battler, Kun, and Maria-chan, the atmosphere in that place would have been pretty grim. Thanks. I'll assume you mean that literally. Hey, brats. The taxis are here. You can play around later. Ooh, taxi, taxi. I'm getting in first. Giggle. Hey! Maria? And you two, Battler-kun, stop fooling around. You'll bump into someone. The tone of Aunt Rose's voice grew a little frightening. When even Battler realized that they were fooling around a bit too much, just as expected, he bumped into someone. Ow. Oh, sorry. Battler-kun, you guys are going in that car. You're keeping them waiting. After George urged him to hurry on, Battler apologized to the person he bumped into and ran it up to his parents, who were telling him to come quickly. With a clunking sound, the doors on the 3 taxis were shut, one after the other, and they departed for the harbor. As their taxis dashed away, the entire world grew suddenly dull and slowed to a halt. The voices, the wind, and even sound, all of it stopped, and all the people who were trying to move froze like the instant someone takes a photo, coming to a halt. People, machines, and clock hands, even the dust dancing in the wind, were frozen. Some people who were walking froze with one leg still in the air. Scraps of paper dancing in the wind were pinned in midair, frozen in place. Then, among the shadows, standing still in this unmoving world, a single one stirred. It was a girl. The girl Battler had just bumped into. Though she had moved, it was a truly subtle thing. Her gaze dropped, her shoulders lowered a minuscule amount, and she sighed. That was all. In a normal world, that probably wouldn't even be taken as movement. But in this still world, it looked very out of place. Then something else moved. It was a black cat wandering around the shadows near the taxi rank. It came up right behind the girl and leisurely changed its form into that of a human. This was no cat. Angie, the endless witch who will live for 1,000 years in the future. Or perhaps she's a hunter of witches who will fell them all. Witches cannot be felled if they are not understood. Witches cannot be felled even if they are understood. To understand witches and yet deny them, only this contradictory power gives her the blade with which to fell the witches. Berncastel, the witch of miracles who has lived for 1,000 years. To defeat Beatrice in her game, she threw in a piece called Angie. The Voyager witches, who cross the sea of fragments, are beings far superior to the witches who cannot leave their own territories. While they may be on even footing inside the territory, her true magical power far surpasses that of Beatrice. What is sought by those witches who repeatedly voyage in an attempt to escape boredom? Okay, none of this appears to have changed. Well, we'll call that it for now.